Professor Panch Ramalingam, President of InSPA, Professor Rangia, former Professor and Head of Department of Applied Psychology, Pondicherry University, Professor Akbaruddin Ahmad, Vice Chancellor, University of Bangladesh, Professor Mangaleswaran, Vice Chancellor, Vavuniya University, Sri Lanka. Thank you. Dr. T. Ramanayagam, Malaysia, and other distinguished panelists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to thank the respected Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University, Dr. Gurmeet Singh, and Professor Panch Ramalingam, President of Indian School Psychology Association, for the honor conferred upon me to deliver the valedictory address at the closing session of the 12th InSPA International Conference 2022 on the topic Meeting the Challenges in Schools Towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. And this term, Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is in Nagari language, translates to self-reliant India. It is a phrase the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and his government used and popularized in relation to the country's economic development plans. I think this is a wonderful initiative to create the spirit of self-reliance among Indians, especially the young generation. I was privileged to have been part of the inaugural ceremony in the presence of the Honorable Minister of Education, Sri Dharmendra Pradhan, and the Lieutenant Governor of Pondicherry, Dr. Tilamise Soundarajan, and other dignitaries on that occasion. I wish to reiterate my appreciation for Minister Pradhan illuminating his speech and his great vision for education for India. The National Education Policy is an outstanding policy document for education development in India. I'm saying it with my own experience, but also from a UNESCO perspective. The vision of this policy, I just want to mention it because it is very fundamental and key to the development of India, especially with all the emerging challenges. The vision of this policy is, it envisions an education system rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high-quality education to all and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. The policy envisages that the curriculum and pedagogy of our institutions must develop among the students a deep sense of respect towards the fundamental duties and constitutional values, bonding with one's country, and a conscious awareness of one's roles and responsibilities in a changing world. The vision of the policy is to instill among the learners a deep-rooted pride in being Indian, not only in thought, but also in spirit, intellect, and deeds, as well as to develop knowledge, skills, values, and dispositions that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development and living, and global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. That, I think, is the core, is the key message in the NEP, and I'm confident that with this vision and with the drive of the Minister and the government in the implementation, India will succeed. I may share with you that during my own 13 years of ministership of education, and it was from India that I sought guidance and technical support to develop educational reforms in my own country. And then my then counterpart, Minister Narasimha Rao, greatly supported me. InSPA Conference 2022 is a valuable input to the implementation of NEP, and I commend the Minister for his foresight and action-oriented approach in involving all stakeholders in the implementation of NEP. InSPA and all the members must be very much feeling honored and lucky to have such a Minister of Education for his public trust in you. Having served myself as minister, I can assure you that's not common to our ministers of education with the conviction and commitment that the minister displayed. In fact, I would like to quote what he said in his opening address, in his inaugural address. The minister asks InSPA to collate the gist of its deliberation into an actionable set of recommendations for the effective implementation of NEP and for building open, vibrant, and integrative school psychology frameworks. India has a lot to offer to the world. We have to create a global model. NEP 2020 will create global citizens of the 21st century who will be committed to humanity's welfare, he said. That, I think, is a big tribute and a big trust in InSPA. And I'm confident that the President and members will take up this challenge of responding to the minister's request for a set of recommendations. Let me share with you Mahatma Gandhi's vision on world citizenship. He said, "I learned from my illiterate but wise mother that all rights to be deserved and preserved came from duty well done," wrote Mahatma Gandhi in a letter addressed to the then Director General of UNESCO, Dr. Julian Huxley. This letter, which was written while Gandhi was traveling in a train to Delhi in May 1947, was in reply to an invitation to 60 leading personalities throughout the world to define what they thought would form the basis of a world or charter of human rights. And defining his view on human rights, Gandhiji said, "The very right to live accrues to us only when we do the duty of citizenship of the world. Every other right can be shown to be a usurpation, hardly worth fighting for," end of quote. I would like also to refer to what Gandhi's vision of an educated society, and I quote, "We cannot be selfish and think of ourselves, our personal advancement and career only. We need to give back, care for, and serve our fellow human beings and the world. Indeed, service to men is highest calling, which we cannot ignore and forget, as it is also service to God Almighty." I wish also to quote another sentence in the National Education Policy, which gives India the right sort of foundation for the future development. And I quote, "NEP, the rich heritage of ancient and eternal Indian knowledge and thought has been a guiding light for this policy. And the Indian education system produced great scholars," and he mentioned a series of them: Charaka, Susruta, Aryabhata, Madhava, Panini, Patanjali, Nagarjuna, Gautama, Pingala, Sankardev, Gargi, and Tiruvalluvar, among others. May I refer to Tiruvalluvar's contribution to the world with Tirukkural in the words of erudite global leaders. The highly acclaimed German philosopher and Nobel laureate Dr. Albert Schweitzer says about Tirukkural that there hardly exists in the literature of the world a collection of maxims in which we find so much lofty wisdom. Rabindranath Tagore stated, "The ideals of the great Saint Tiruvalluvar will apply not only to India but to the whole world." Dr. Maurice Winter-Nitz, an eminent Austrian Orientalist, says, "Valluvar's Kural is one of the gems of the world literature. He, Valluvar, stands above all races, caste, and sex, and what he teaches is a general human morality and wisdom. No wonder that the Kural has been read, studied, and highly praised in the land of its origin for centuries, but also found many admirers in the West ever since it has become known." Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself stated, "I bow to the Venerable Tiruvalluvar on Tiruvalluvar Day. His thoughts and works reflect the immense knowledge as well as wisdom he was blessed with. People across generations have been positively impacted by his ideals. I urge more youngsters across India to read the Kural." And I wish to refer you also to a landmark judgment on Tirukkural on the 26th April 2016 by Honorable Justice Mahadevan, Madras High Court. That was the result of a petition drawn by Mr. Rajaratnam, a senior citizen in Tamil Nadu, who looking around found that a lot of degradation in values, no respect for elders, violence, crime, divorce, and so on, that he petitioned the court that all this is happening because we've neglected the teaching of Tirukkural. And the court, this petition reached Justice Mahadevan, and he gave the judgment instructing the government of Tamil Nadu to teach Tirukkural compulsorily in all schools. And I would just like to quote what he said in the judgment. Children whose quest for knowledge is unlimited should be drawn into principles at an early age so that they are not deviated. The future of every country lies at the hands of younger generation. It is the duty of the state to show them the rightful path, and there is no other better philosophy than what is preached in Tirukkural. The judgment further observed, undoubtedly, when the seeds are cultivated early, the result will be fruitful. When the young minds of this country are taught about the moral philosophies and methods as contained in Tirukkural, we can expect a better reformed generation, not only in moral aspect, but also in political and commercial management. That would definitely take the nation into a progressive mode, end of quote. In my capacity as founder president of the International Tirukkural Foundation, we have been advocating with UNESCO to recognize Tirukkural as a book of world literature. And in April 2022, I had the opportunity of meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi and submitted to him a full document for India to support the request with UNESCO. I would like to commend all the participants in the 12th InSPA for their contribution to the vision of the national education policy, and wish to share with you a quote by Pope Francis. I think these are things, good food for thought, and I think it should guide us in the education, but it's also in the value that we impart to the young generations. Pope Francis stated, I quote, "Rivers do not drink their own water, trees do not eat their own fruit, the sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is the rule of nature. We are all born to help each other, no matter how difficult it is. Life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy because of you." I think that's a very, very powerful message from Pope Francis, which should guide us in our daily life and living. What I've collected from this conference, a lot of very valuable lessons that we can learn, and also a lot of very good development, a lot of research papers and concrete action that has been proposed from all the participants, and this will greatly contribute to the improvement, overall improvement of the teaching in Indian education in schools. Well, let me congratulate also the jury who selected the winners of the InSPA Best Paper Award 2022, and the 3 equally awarded winners for their contribution in areas which are very relevant, and these documents could certainly be shared with other countries in the world to benefit their own system. I'm also pleased to see that many papers have been submitted on the challenges faced by students with disabilities in the schools during COVID, and the remarkable support of school psychologists to instill resilience to and help those students. I'm particularly very interested on person with disability with my foundation, Global Rainbow Foundation, and I found a lot of very interesting contribution made that would certainly help in this area. On a personal note, I wish to share with you that since July 2011, after retiring from UNESCO, I have decided to dedicate the rest of my retirement years on a mission of giving back to society. I set up the Global Rainbow Foundation, a charitable trust in 2011 to serve persons with disabilities. In June this year, I strongly felt that it was also my duty to serve the land of my forefathers, or India. I am proud of my roots and attached to India. We have therefore set up a Global Rainbow Foundation in India with chapters in Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Delhi, and others will follow. As regards my collaboration with Pondicherry, I wish to make the following 3 announcements. I've decided to set up a Global Rainbow Foundation chapter to serve persons with disabilities in Pondicherry also this year. I will need your support to undertake this mission. And I know I can trust and rely on Professor Ramalingam, who has been giving me a lot of support already in this mission. Yesterday, number 2, yesterday I had a very fruitful and inspiring meeting with the Secretary of Auroville Foundation, Dr. Jayanti Ravi. I've been invited to be an active partner with Auroville Foundation in its mission, which in the words of the founder, the mother, in a first public message on Auroville sent to the world in 1965, I quote, "Making Auroville a universal town where men and women of all countries are able to live in peace and progressive harmony above all creeds, all politics and all nationalities. The purpose of Auroville is to realize human unity." You'll be pleased to know that I've wholeheartedly agreed to join this noble mission at Auroville Foundation. Third, in November this year, I plan to be back to Pondicherry and get the permission and the approval of the Chief Minister and the Lieutenant Governor to launch a publication which has direct bearing with Pondicherry. And this is a publication myself and Satyendra Pietam, a Mauritian historian, have co-authored. The title is "In Search of Our Ancestors, a historical and pictorial presentation and tribute to the Tamil Indian migration and settlement in Mauritius and their descendants from 1728 to present times." In fact, on the 11th of November 1728, 294 years ago, the newly appointed Governor Jumas of Pondicherry sent 28 Tamil slaves to work on his new estate in Ile-de-France, now Mauritius. Between the end of 1728 and 1729, he also sent more than 95 skilled Tamil and other South Indian artisans, such as stone masons and carpenters, to start work on the public buildings, such as the government buildings, stores and other public works in Mauritius and La Réunion. Between November 9, 1728 and December 1731, an estimated 328 Tamils and other South Indians were brought to Mauritius, sold by the French East India Company. So the Tamils from Pondicherry were the first Indians to come to Mauritius. And this historical fact has got Tamil language inscribed on our banknote, which I'm happy to show to you. This, our banknote, has got Tamil language inscribed in our banknote in the following order: English, Tamil, and Hindi, because the Tamils from Pondicherry were the first one to come to Mauritius. And I will therefore may I invite as a reflection, I thought InSPA could probably conduct a research, a psychological research, on the challenges facing Indian immigrants and Atmanirbhar for their self-reliance and resilience. That the fate of all those Indian immigrants that went to different countries of the world, you know, the challenges they face. Probably we might have to look into that psyche of these Indian immigrants and how they survive. Well, I would like to commend InSPA, to share the recommendation from this conference also with UNESCO as well, and reflect further on how you could honor the Minister's trust in InSPA in his request for support in the implementation of NEP. To conclude, I wish to conclude with a special message to the Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University and the President of InSPA. I know Professor Gurmeet Singh will join us later. Well, let me associate with you in the special award bestowed upon him for his excellent educational services rendered for the society and the nation as Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University. I'll wish him still greater success in all his future endeavors. To you, Mr. President of InSPA, my dear Professor Panch Ramalingam, dear friend, I must commend you for the outstanding leadership and masterly way in which you organize the 12th InSPA, which has been recognized as a mega conference. You will leave a very prominent legacy of your presidency, with a recognition given by the Honorable Minister of Education, Sri Dharmendra Pradhan, who have publicly requested you to submit actionable set of recommendations from InSPA 2022 for the effective implementation of NEP and for building upon vibrant and integrative school psychology frameworks. This is a golden opportunity open to you, and I'm confident that you and your team will take up the challenge. Finally, to conclude, today we are celebrating Ayudha Puja for wealth goddess Lakshmi, and tomorrow I will celebrate Vijaya Dashami for education and learning for goddess Saraswati. I invite InSPA, all the members, and all of us to pledge to share our wealth and wisdom and knowledge in service to humanity. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your blessings and compliments for this occasion. I thought making use of this opportunity, two announcements. One is, this is the election year for the InSPA. Professor Mukhopadhyay is our presiding officer. He has conducted the election. We are having 1,284 members on roll. This year, I have been elected as second term president from April 22 to March 26. Then Professor Shalam has been elected as vice president. Then Professor Jokatulangi from Mizoram University has been elected as the vice president, second. Then Dr. D. Rajendran, Joint Secretary of School Education, Chennai, has been elected as secretary. Then Dr. Sunita Jayangal, Hubli, Karnataka, has been re-elected as Joint Secretary. Then Dr. Naveen Patil from Gujarat Law Society University has elected as Joint Secretary. Dr. S. Suresh Rajiv Gandhi, National Institute for Youth Development, re-elected as Treasurer. The presiding officer has received 9 nominations from the contestants. 2 have been rejected for the various reasons as mandated by the rules and regulations of the association. This is the 7 office bearers for the forthcoming period of 3 years from April 23 to March 26. This is the announcement. Next is, we are having plan of action. InSPA 13th International Conference will be held at the University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya, Shillong in November 2023. Our affiliate association, Asia Pacific School Psychology Association, 4th ASPA International Conference will be held at Central University of Haryana. Professor Vishwanand Yadav is the chairman of the conference, and Dr. Pradeep Kumar is the organizing secretary. Now may I request our Dr. Pradeep Kumar to highlight the conference.
I am Pradeep Kumar, came from Department of Psychology, Central University of Haryana, along with Professor Vishwanand Yadav. And we have scheduled 4th APSPA International Conference on Sustainable Development Goals with special reference to school psychology in Asia. That conference will be organized in the Association of Asia Pacific School Psychology Association Malaysia and Department of Psychology, Central University of Haryana. First of all, I, on behalf of these two bodies, I welcome and invite all the delegates in the conference. I also want to say, if any delegate, any academician want to be the part of local organizing committee, then they can intimate us and we will support from you. I will try to finish my PPT within 5 minutes. let me say something about my university, Central University of Haryana, which is one of the 15 new central universities established by Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India in 11th 5-year plan under the Central University Act 2009 of the Parliament. The university has been accredited with A grade in the first cycle of NAAC assessment and accreditation conducted in March 2017. The university is fully funded by the University Grants Commission (UGC). Permanent campus of the university is situated in almost 500 acres of the land of Jant Pali villages, Mahendragarh, district of Haryana, from where Central University of Haryana is running its academic operations. Presently, the university offers 72 academic programs, and the distance between Delhi and our university is near about 130 kilometer. And let me skip the remaining portion of this about the university. Like objectives and vision are almost more or less same for all universities. Yes, the Department of Psychology in the Central University of Haryana is devoted to provide excellence by its commitment towards novelty in curriculum and groundbreaking ingenuities. The department offers a student-friendly environment to foster academic growth and provides research orientation required for higher education. Department of Psychology is one of the departments under the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Central University of Haryana, which is established in from 2014-15 academic session. The department offers 5 academic programs, that is MA Psychology, BSc Honor Psychology, PhD program, and recently we started 2 diploma courses which are recognized by Rehabilitation Council of India, New Delhi. These courses are postgraduate diploma in rehabilitation psychology and advanced diploma in child guidance and counseling. The department is fully equipped with experimental psychological testing, biofeedback, and computer labs. It also focuses on audio-visual aids for classroom teaching. The department organizes academic, research, and extension activities such as seminars, workshops, extension lectures, internship, etc. The thrust areas of the department includes personality, psychological testing, rehabilitation, organization, behavior, positive psychology, biopsychology, and health psychology. Let me share something about the InSPA, the Asia Pacific School Psychology Association. Is comprised of multinational, multicultural, and multilingual developing countries. Every country has its own unique, multifaceted schooling systems which cater to the needs of heterogeneous groups of children. The schools run by the governments as well as private, both in urban and rural areas, differ in many respects from the private English medium schools that draw children by and large from economically prosperous families. InSPA will cater to the needs of the promotion of common school psychology services in the Asia Pacific region, especially in cross-cultural life skills, mental health, and well-being. The main theme of the conference, which is in the line of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, implementation appears at this juncture around the corner. 2030 is not too far away. The governments of the day all over the world are making efforts to ensure. Questions remain. We as human beings should do something to ensure our planet. One of the critical bridges with communities, societies, and nations are teachers across the various levels of academia. How is the teaching community juxtaposing itself to the ideals and achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals? This conference will focus on the teacher educators and their contribution to the sustainable development goals and how they can pass the thought processes on to the learners and the support mechanism they are receiving to ensure the sustainable development goals. And these are the specific objectives and thrust areas along with some themes. And this is just the first look of the brochure, and we will share in the different through different platforms after getting the information from Professor Pancharamalingam. We will share every information to every delegate. Let me just show the slides
Quickly.
because we have the shortage of time. These are the names of keynote speakers which will be invited from international and national level, and the local organizing committee, then committee members from across the country. And one important thing is that we have a strength of 200 students in our department along with 20 research scholars, and I hope this conference will be successful with your guidance and with your support. Again, I welcome and I invite all the delegates to participate in this work. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We are really looking forward for that InSPA conference. And now I call upon Professor T. Mangaleshwaran, Vice Chancellor, Vavuniya University, Sri Lanka, to give special address.
Dear Professor Pancharamalingam, President in 12th InSPA International Conference, Professor Rangaya, Professor and Head Department of Applied Psychology, Pondicherry University, valedictory address given by Dr. R. Mugam Parasuraman, former Director, UNESCO, Professor Akbaruddin Ahmad, Vice Chancellor, retired Dar es Salaam University, Bangladesh, and Dr. Ramanayagam, Malaysia, and Professor Ashani Sultana, Professor, Department of Social Work, Pondicherry University, dignitaries on the dais and keynote speakers, chairman of the technical session, delegates, and students, good evening to you all. First of all, I appreciate Professor Pancharamalingam and their team organized this conference at the mega level and successfully completing with all challenges. Presently, conferences are very difficult to find delegates. Here I have noticed more than 1,500 participants attending this conference. It's a mega level conference. I have noticed the keynote speakers and the delegates attended very actively all over the world and make the conference as a success through the Professor Pancharamalingam, the personal conduct and the approach. In addition, this conference and commitment of that these members of the committee, I have noticed that delegates all over the world and school teachers, students that participated, it's a conference value added for their commitment and initiative, positive attitude in the InSPA 12,000. Here that I want to brief that psychology is a hub of science, consists of medical science, social science and education. At this juncture in the special address, I want to talk about this HRM and the COVID challenges. It's HRM coming under the social science. Here that based on that my research, what's the effect of the COVID on the HRM in Sri Lankan context. During the COVID and the post-COVID situation, I conducted the study in HRM in the private and the public sector in Sri Lankan context. Especially that this COVID time, the HRM management, that especially that staff attendance, it was a very difficult or the challenge in the organization. Most of the staffs wanted to stay at home and without their fear to coming to the organization. Then that organization adopted different strategies, getting the things from the staff. Especially that attendance, they have used that even manual attendance or instead of the finger machine, as well as flexible time to the staffs, work from home, different strategy they have adapted. At the same time, in the organization, on that side, welcome that Vice Chancellor Pondicherry University also, that especially that this human resource planning, or that's a planning was a challenge for getting the people, or the challenge for retain the people, or it's during the period that some of the organization difficult to face the challenge on the retain the people. Here that particular period that during the COVID challenge time, that salary, that most of the public sector organization pay the salary, full salary, but the private sector organization about the half salary or the 25% of the salary. Some of the organization, they have a closed business or they can't run the business because employees are not attending the organization. Then it's a big challenge, appraisal of the employees, performance appraisal. It's very difficult to appraise the employee performance in the organization because they are not performing, or it's very difficult to get the things from the employees, mainly because of the motivate the employees strategy to get the things from the employees. As well as during the period of the COVID, in the private sector organization, mainly that they wanted to terminate the employees. The public sector organization, they can't terminate, job security is very high, especially permanent staff, because that organization can't simply terminate the employees. The compensation is a big challenge for a private sector. Here, not only our country, it's all over the world, it's a challenge. Without earning money, especially they can't pay the salary. That's why they have paid about 25% of the salary to the employees of the organization. Here there are a lot of challenge managing the HR. It's a similar crisis situation. Through this learning of the COVID challenge, this crisis situation, that organization can adapt the different strategies, especially strategic human resource management, as well as motivate the employees to involve the work, or even some employees they fear to come the organization or travel the organization. That is why motivation was very important in the organization, as well as a new normal situation, adapt the different change management strategies. Changing management strategy adapted in the most of the organization during the COVID time. Then only they could get the things from the organization. When they compare this HRM, what's the impact of the impact of the COVID on the HRM practices was a positive and negative and the no effect. Especially most of the organizations are the negative effect. They can't get things from the employees, as well as positive effect because of the COVID, that most of the organization adapted this technology, advanced technology. Previously, that organization faced a difficulty to adapt the technology. Most of the people are reluctant to adapt changes, but during this COVID, most of the organization and employees are ready to adapt this advanced technology, especially virtual technology they have adapted in the organization. Even after the COVID also, even that instead of attending the meeting, most of the organization are through the virtually they are conduct the meeting. Even some organization no effect, they are properly manage the organization with the support or the work with the trade union. They have very close relation with the trade union and manage the organization. That is why COVID no effect some of the organization. In comparison of the public private sector organization in our context, the most of the public sector organization in Sri Lanka, they have 100% job security, as well as they have paid the salary and allowances also, even without deduct the percentage of the loan they have taken, they have paid the full salary. That is why they can get the things from the employees. But the private sector, they could pay the salary. Similar, lot of things in the organization face lot of difficulties, manage the human resource. That is why most of the organization, their output and outcomes are very low and productivity also low. Then its organization lost their profit during the period. After this post-COVID situation, they think about how to practice that HRM in the new normal situation. They have adapted different strategies. Now it's a learning for how to manage the crisis situation to managing the human resource in the organization. At present, organization success are mainly depend on the HRM practices. At this juncture, I finally thank the 12th InSPA International Conference Chairman and the members of the team. They have invited me as a special guest of this conference, and on behalf of the University of Sri Lanka, I thank all the members of the committee. Their excellent performance in the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for this theme presentation. Now to relax, there is a small event we would like to show. During this COVID 2 years, we have effectively utilized, as far as InSPA and ASPA is concerned. The first program was organized by our Professor Nikat Basu under the guided leadership of our Professor Maghrajuddin. Then we thought, when we are having the program, why don't we try one anthem? Our university professor, Professor Bhaskaran Nair, tried out the lyrics. Immediately our Professor R. Gopalakrishna is here from Bangalore University. Yes, sang, singing, and then his team was given the music. In the presence of our esteemed Vice Chancellor, on the first day we have launched during this conference. Now we thought, because Professor Gopalakrishnan is here, let him give a short form to the audience so that you may all realize how he has done it. Please, sir.
First of all, my gratitude to the President, our beloved Pancharamalingam sir, and of course, Honorable Vice Chancellor. I just take a couple of minutes because I must tell what happened, how it happened, the anthem part. I posted, I'm basically instinctually a musician. Though I'm a professor of psychology, instinctually, with God-given gift, I into music. So I posted a few songs in the InSPA group, and after listening to that, Pancharamalingam sir, he is very innovative, very visionary. He just asked me, can we make one anthem of InSPA? I was confused. How sir, what sir, and all that I asked. And he said, no, I want an anthem about InSPA. Can you do it? Sir, as you know, I am just a musician, I am just a singer. I am neither a composer nor a lyricist. So if you can get me the lyrics, I will try it out. I will ask somebody to compose. In fact, my son himself is a composer. He is a software professional, no doubt, but he is also, music runs in his blood. So I thought of asking my son, and I asked sir to send the lyrics, and as he said, Professor Bhaskaran Nair, he wrote the lyrics, it seems, and he sent me the text. That was like text only, it was not a poem or poetry. It was so difficult. When I went through, it was just like a text. I was finding it difficult how to compose this. When I gave it to my son, he said, oh, it's very difficult, Daddy. I am just still amateur composer. It is difficult for me to compose. Then, I am proud to tell you that I am a part of legendary musician group, Rajan Nagendra. He is very popular in South India, particularly in Kannada and even in Telugu also, of course, Tamil also. I am a trust member. I took the lyrics to Rajan Nagendra. Then he said, it becomes extremely expensive because I need all the instruments for my concept to do justice. Then I thought, okay, then I tried one Mr. Srinivas. I think all of you, or most of you rather, if not all of you, he does a program called Paduta Thiyaga in Telugu and Editumbi Hadidanu in Kannada. He is the sole in charge for that, which is Dr. Balasubramaniam, who passed away. He was part of that particular group. When I gave it to him, he also said it is difficult, sir. Then I was, no, I'm just sharing the naked truth. If there is anything, kindly excuse me. Then I expressed all these practical difficulties to Dr. Pancharam Lingam. Then he said, sir, if you want to make some changes, you can make as per the requirements without changing the meaning. You can add the different words, but similar meaning I should get, he said. Then, okay, since he gave me that freedom, I just tried out, removed few words, added a few other words to get the same meaning, but it should be rhythmic. Then I consulted one more musician by name Mr. Maruti, who is a very good composer. I just gave it to him and he said, we'll try it out, sir. And after a couple of days, he just called me, sir, I have composed the tune, just listen how it is. I just heard and immediately I just sent that raw copy to Pancharam Lingam, sir. Then he said, sir, without even music it is sounding so good, and with orchestration it will be very good, you please go ahead, he said. Then finally the song came out, I sent it to him and he approved. On his approval, I just initiated, and finally I am here and I am really grateful, sir, because as I said, you are a visionary. Without your motivation, even I would have been demotivated. Once I heard, once when I was going through Swami Vivekananda's literature, if Vivekananda cannot motivate anybody, on the earth nobody else can motivate. True, very true. But actually here I found an exceptional case. Though I am a great fan of Vivekananda, I failed with his the words, but he motivated me. Really, he really motivated me. That's how it took a shape, but I am happy today and sir is also happy. And after that song, I think almost 2 years it is over now, but after that I have come to Pondicherry first time, okay? After the song, before that of course I was here on few occasions. So it's an opportunity for me. प्रथमं वक्रतुण्डं च एकदन्तं द्वितीयकं तृतीयं कृष्णपिङ्गाक्षं गजवक्त्रं चतुर्थकम् लंबोदरं पंचमं च षष्ठं विकटमेव च सप्तमं विघ्नराजेन्द्रं धूम्रवर्णं तथाष्टमं नवमं बालचन्द्रं च दशमन्तु विनायकम् एकादशं गणपतिं द्वादशन्तु गजाननं द्वादशैतानि नामानि त्रिसन्ध्ययः पठेन्नरः न च विघ्नभयं तस्य सर्वसिद्धिकरं प्रभो Thank you. Now you can know how music is connected to human psyche. I'll request Professor Ramalingam sir in the next InSPA meeting to make it music and the challenges of the role of music in schools, how it can connect and refine the rough edges of the human thinking, human behavior, which is as psychology is important to human behavior or humans, music is also extremely important, but somehow it is neglected either because of our ignorance or for other reasons. This should be highlighted in the next conference. I'll definitely request him. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening and emphasizing on the importance of music, which has been a part and parcel of our life. And music therapy is applied to many ailments nowadays. And now I call upon Shri A. Ilanjalian, sir, Senior Advocate President, IMTC London, to give special address.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Gurmeet Singh, Honorable President Professor Panch Ramalingam, Professor Ranagaya, Dr. Arumugam Parasuraman, former Director of UNESCO, Professor Abrakuddin Ahmed, Vice Chancellor of Dar es Salaam University, and Professor Mangaleswaran, Vice Chancellor of Vauvania University, and special guest of honors, ladies and gentlemen. I spent a few days since last couple of days spending my time listening to various speeches and this platform presentation, in particular the Education Minister's commitment and dedication in providing his support for the university aims and objectives of this particular conference. Furthermore, yesterday I listened to the presentation of how an unborn child enjoys the music when the child is in mother's womb. And just now the previous speaker also addressed you in relation to music and how it's important to adults as well as children. So this conference platform is actually provided a lot of information and knowledge that you youngsters and us even elder people have learned from different people and different varieties and different kind of information. And I'm very grateful for organizing this conference to Dr. Panch Ramalingam in relation to sharing this platform and the information. I quickly address you in one case in relation to psychological, psychiatric, and the law is involved. During the COVID pandemic, there was a family. The father was working in a grocery shop downstairs, and he had a flat. He had a wife and 2 young children, 3 years and 1 year old. And he was working normally between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. shifts. And just after the COVID in March 2020, 2 weeks into it, the pandemic, he finished work at about 6 o'clock. He went upstairs to the flat at about 6:30 and took a knife, stabbed the 2 children and stabbed himself. And he wanted to commit suicide for some reason. And when the case came to courts, the interesting thing is, neither the judge, nor the jury, nor the defense, nor the prosecution could see or prove his guilt, because nobody's know the motive, the intention, it was not there. So we all are at a loss when these type of matters comes to court. So what happened was that everything what had happened in that time on that particular incident is to do with psychology, psychological trauma that he's been suffering for such a number of months, years, and he did not seek any help from the GP or the authorities. So it boiled down, it went down, it triggered something, and then he ended taking up his life, and along with his 2 children, wife escaped, called the police. So what it tells us, the domestic violence is one of the greatest risk for families, and the statistics shows that 1 in every 3 person in their life that they will go through a domestic violence issue. So how the United Kingdom government is addressing that issue is to see they put some prevention orders to protect particularly the women from this domestic violence. During the pandemic, the domestic violence increased threefold in the UK, about 25%, whilst the robbery, the other traffic offences and all that dropped because people are obviously locked up and they were in lockdown. So they have made some prevention orders within passing a legislature through the parliament on an emergency basis to prevent a domestic violence prevention order that came into force during the pandemic. And the second thing that the government brought was that people, when they had domestic violence, they have to go into a chemist, that means a pharmacy, and there is a room allocated in every pharmacy to keep them there until the police arrive, because the police couldn't be called to the houses, or they couldn't leave the house for some reason, the husband might stop them leaving, etc., etc. So there were prevention orders which were made by the United Kingdom government. And the other issues in psychology is the link between the psychological expert report when it comes to prove a case in courts, and the lawyers be tremendously dependent upon those psychological report in order to identify the risk and the sentencing guidelines, whether this person can be sentenced to prison, number of years, whether it's worth sending him to prison, or whether he has got psychological issues. In that respect, then he should be sent to the mental health hospital or mental health issues. So that type of things is what it connects the law and the psychology. So just to let me finish my conclusion of this speech. So the domestic violence is a public health crisis that affects all demographics and could result in significant morbidity and mortality. In addition to emphasizing mental health challenges faced by domestic violence victims, multidisciplinary interventions and identify that could provide timely and practical solution to domestic violence victims. So during the pandemic, the educational programs and prevention orders were in place, and together that we would be able to successfully address those issues, particularly among the children as well at school, as well as adults. So I'm thankful to Dr. Panchramalingam to inviting me to share this platform, and I have gathered a lot of knowledge and information from various speakers, and I am very thankful for organizing this conference, and thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for addressing the importance of psychological support for various issues in the society. And now I call upon Professor Akbaruddin Ahmed, Vice Chancellor, Darul Ihsan University, Bangladesh, to give special address.
Excellencies, Honorable Vice Chancellors, my dear friends, experts from different countries around the world, scholars, professors, and students. I'll just say a few basic points as food for thought. Number one, you see, we are all striving hard to attain self-sufficiency and happiness. Only psychology will not make us self-sufficient or happy. There are so many other factors. The UN has laid down the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 points. And one of the major issues here is the challenges of food security worldwide. Now, with this war going on in Ukraine and in Russia, there has been food shortages, petrol, gas shortages around the world. Now, these are very major issues which require deep thinking. I was quite happy to learn the other day when I was reading some research papers that India is fast moving ahead. You'll all be very happy to know India has crossed UK and is now the 5th, the largest economy. I think it needs a big clapping. Okay. In about 5 years from now, the $25 trillion economy of USA will not remain as the number one economy in the world. It's going to go down. And you'll be surprised if I tell you that they will become number 5, number 6 in just a few years to come. This may sound very strange, but these are the predictions by top-rated economists. And you'll all be very happy to know that the curve, the graph of India is just going up, just going up. It is soon becoming a major superpower. And I tell you, from 25 trillion US dollars of the US economy, it's just about $6 trillion. The Chinese economy is just behind, only 6 trillion. And the suggestions are, predictions are, in about 5 years' time, they are going to take over China. And mind you, India is not lagging behind. A stage will come that India will become the second largest economy in the world. I think this calls for another huge clapping. And these are predictions done by great researchers worldwide. And the way India is moving forward, marching forward, we are all very happy to note this. There was a time when there was a food shortage in India, and this PL480 was a major source of food grain imports from USA. Now, with this war going on, there's a global food shortage of wheat, which Ukraine is the major supplier, and major problems with respect to oil and gas from Russia, etc. Now, these are issues of great concern. And yesterday I was watching a very interesting TV show where the Indian foreign minister was being questioned by an American anchor. And I tell you, hats off to him. The way he answered the questions, it was absolutely superb. He was talking like a great statesman for a great country. Now, a few points. I would like to congratulate Mr. Professor Ramalingan, with whom I have had a long association for many years, and I've had the privilege of attending several programs that he has been hosting in different parts of the world. And the future ones in Haryana, as has been mentioned, God willing, we'll be there. My team will be there. I have a team of 5 members, in which there are 2 retired full secretaries of the government. They are now, one is a CEO, and the other one is an advisor, honorable advisor of PRC. And then I have a scientist, agricultural scientist, very well known. Then I have somebody from the tourism sector as well. But I'm very sad to say that a very well-known educationist, he couldn't land up here because his visa was not processed. on time. It took more than 20 days to process an Indian visa. I was really surprised. And I mentioned this to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, that it used to happen once in the past, several years ago. We have to work out a mechanism whereby visa processing for Bangladeshis coming to India is faster. It's faster. Now, I would like to congratulate the organizers here for organizing a mega event. I've very rarely seen such an event as we witnessed the other day, where the Honorable Education Minister, the Lieutenant Governor, the Speaker, MNAs, and everybody was there. And then the reporting which came in the newspapers, Hindu and other newspapers, I was really amazed at the speed at which these things are published. And hats off to Pondicherry University and InSPA for organizing such a fantastic event, I would say. And the huge numbers are so massive. To manage and control such an event is a really big job. So my heartiest congratulations to the organizers, in particular to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurmeet Singh, and the President of InSPA, and congratulations to him for being elected for another term of 3 years, and I'm sure he'll be able to do a massive job in the next term. Now, here I would like to make an announcement here. As you know, PRC, Policy Research Center, is a research institution, and we have been collaborating with several institutions, several universities in different areas in this particular region. And we have been doing a lot of research work, which we are sharing as a civil society think tank with my government as well. So it was very kind of Professor Gurmeet Singh and his team that he has very kindly agreed to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Policy Research Center. And we are going to provide some research aspects to some of the policies that we are accustomed with. And this sharing of knowledge, I'm sure, will be of great benefit to both the institutions. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. The unconditional support from you and your team means a lot for us. Now I'll call upon Smita Ghosh, Ms. Smita Ghosh, to give feedback for the conference.
Once again, good afternoon. Definitely a wonderful experience, great learning, a platform where we learned on the stage, off the stage. It was a very great opportunity for us to connect professionally as well as personally. The last 2 years, we might have, each one of us, we have attended so many conferences, but there was something missing. That missing link we found in this conference. These 3 days, each day we learned, we got so many experience. Something which we knew, but which we had forgotten. And we again remember that. So it's really great for Pansar to have this conference where we could meet personally, where we could connect. I have got a lot of mentors. I know that I can call and ask whenever I am stuck somewhere. We shared, and this journey is going to continue because this is a huge family, ready to help each other. And when I go back tomorrow to Gujarat, definitely the topic meeting the challenge is going to change into making those challenges into opportunities towards Atmanirbhar Bharat and making each and every student Atmanirbhar with giving right values and right lessons. Thank you so much.
Now this is the very important item. That's why because even today is the holiday. Our Vice Chancellor also very keen for the past 4 days, keenly following what is happening, how it is happening. Normally you are all know that when the valedictory is over, we all run away. Those who are staying in their guest house, we may not bother whether they will take the dinner or they may leave. We will arrange their vehicle, we will not bother. Just now he instructed, he see to that those who are staying back, you can arrange a good dinner in the guest house itself. That is his concern. Simply what we will think, our job is over, valedictory over, certificate is given, job is over, we will escape. Even sometimes people may not pick up the phone. That we have to learn from our Vice Chancellor. How he is thinking till they reaches their station, we have to follow it up, whether properly they have landed or not. Sir, thank you very much, sir, for your blessings and support and guidance. The conference in the sense, you may be knowing, we have issued this communication on 14th January 2022. We are in dilemma whether this will go for physical or online. We initiated, then slowly we have read the pulse, we have fixed the people, it again went for 3 months. Then hectic period is July. Our people's mentality, when we fixed the last date, June 30th, only 28th, 29th only they are asking, sir, is there any possibility of extending the date? My abstract is halfway way. Only 100 words abstract, they are telling it is halfway way. Can you extend some more days? Then we extended 15 days. Then again extended 15 days. Finally we decided the closing date is 31st of August. We closed. But even then, till the conference we accommodated people. That's why those who have joined 30th, one girl from JNU University, Jodhpur, paid the registration fees, she landed, sir, my ID card is missing. When did you register? 30th September, sir. The conference starts on 1st October. Okay. Well, you can come for the next conference. We will prepare your ID card and give. This has been prepared on 1st September. Where will go? The card is prepared in Madurai, not here. We need professional people. What you are wearing, the card is prepared in Madurai. Likewise, we are. This all we learnt from our esteemed Vice Chancellor. You go for the quality concern. Then for the organizational part, people, whomever I approached, they have supported very nicely. I have to specially mention here Professor Kulam Dastagir. His family, not he alone. Please come out to the stage. When I approached him, sir, 1 month, my entire family with you, they will come for the morning, till evening you will work. She is mathematician. By arranging everything, she prepared a nice abstract. It was uploaded by the mathematics PG student, 4th year, am I right? Yeah. Her brothers, this, Rijwana Katton, school counselor, she is our active member. They have done a lot. We thought this is the right occasion. We request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to honor them with a InSPA medal. The medal was prepared by our Ilanjarian from London.
Panchramlingam for organizing a wonderful mega event, I'll say, because I have a personal experience of organizing international conferences at University of Delhi way back. I'll name some of those in 91, 87, then 96. Real mega ones where a lot of delegates from all over the world came, and eventually the area turned out to be a very successful one. Areas like bioorganic and nanotechnology subsequently, and microemulsions. But that apart, why I'm mentioning this is that it is through these conferences the success comes to the world. Success comes to where what you are trying to attempt for. So very dear and respected Professor Akruddin Ahmed, who's been here on the dais, Professor Parsuraman from Mauritius, who's been kind enough to be here, Dr. Mangleshwaran is here from Sri Lanka, Dr. Ilenachalan from London, an advocate, then Professor Ramayagan is not here. He's left because I don't see him on the stage, but he came from Malaysia all the way. We were there 2 years back, and we know the kind of good work those friends did. I have very good, pleasant memories of that event. And Professor Mohan, our neighbor, could not join. They always say the one who's the closest to you fails to come for some reason or the other, but who comes from far flung always keeps himself ready that one has to reach there, therefore they make it. And our Vice Chancellor friend from Tamil Nadu Teachers Education Society University, Dr. Panchanatham, also could not come. And the other colleagues of mine, Dr. B. Rangaya here, and Professor Shaheen Sultana, and our friend from Central University of Rajasthan, Haryana, pardon me, who is here, and they are the ones who are organizing this event next year. Let me tell you, I said I'm really delighted to be here to see the success of this mega event. Success is not seen by the numbers. You saw yesterday the auditorium was full, and 3 auditoriums were full, in fact, simultaneously. And we started deliberating about what way the conference is going to go, how many kinds of presentation, how many key lectures, how many discussions, groups we were just conveying to the audience. But finally, what measures the success of this event is the message that goes around. And I can see the persons who are sitting here with absolute sense of enthusiasm that what is the takeaway lesson from this conference, which I am sure, as our minister had said, that we bring out a paper in the form of a kind of recommendation so that it is taken up at the ministry level. And one of the essential things which has been taken from this conference is that, and I said it repeatedly, not here, elsewhere as well, that psychology is one subject which so far had been neglected at the school level. They thought school level it is not required and we don't need to pay any attention to the school going kids. Whereas now we have started realizing, particularly after pandemic, that this is more important than anything else. We have seen the kind of depression that had set in, the kind of treatment that our kids needed, the kind of attention that our school teachers needed. So we never paid any attention to this. We thought psychology is one which is to be taught at the final year of graduation, not even in first year and second year. Gradually we moved over to the state where we said, well, let's start from first year onwards. And then we moved a little further, and those who are connected with the subject will bear me out, that we said now we should have a full psychology honors course starting from first year. So that's how it gradually developed. More literature came in, and now we started thinking that at school level it is equally important. Now the key word that came out of this, single solid word that emerged out of this conference was that our minister said, bring out a paper in the form of a clear recommendation so that we take it up at the government level. And that government level is that he very categorically said involve NCERT. NCERT is a regulating body which looks after our school education at all level. And they are the ones who are into book writing also, who are into question banks also, who are into all areas of school education. And once if that body is going to be roped in, along with our InSPA, I think it will go a long way, it will never look back. And that is if anybody writes the history of this, how this percolated to school education, I think our institution, our body would have a paramount status in that particular one. That is the success of this conference. Success is that we have all sat together and deliberated. One of the participants was asking me, sir, there are very few participants from far-flung areas, United States, Europe, very few are there, and there are sizable number from in and around our country. I said, this measures the success. When there is a fire in your house, who comes to your rescue? Not somebody sitting at the 10th block or 7th block, the immediate neighbor. What is our problem? We only know. And our problems are all common problems. We are from the same area, we have similar habits, similar eating habits, similar traditions, similar style of wearing clothes, similar kind of teaching systems, whether it is Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, India, Burma, Pakistan, anything, Nepal, Bhutan, we all have similar kinds of problems. Such a set of problems you will not find that Europeans will have, Americans will have, Australians will have. We are the ones who are in a similar area, and if people from this area can come in large numbers and deliberate, I think we are on a right course. We will be able to chalk out our own pathway for the success of this. So this measures the second important part of this particular conference, that we all can sit together. When I say we all, that means the persons, those who really matter. If I can sit and improve my neighbors, with their help of course, I think there is nothing better can be there. And we only have to sort out our own problems. If we think that Americans are going to come and help us, it's not going to happen, let me tell you. We have to sit here, and this is one step forward in that direction. We had a conference in Lanka, we had a conference in Malaysia, we are going to have it next year in another university. So this is going to be the important factor of measurable success of a conference of this kind. So I hope that this effort shall continue and will bring up our school education in the best of ways. I was signing many certificates here. Let me tell you, they said there are too many. I hope you will be able to do it. You know, the feeling that I was getting was as if I am the RBI governor and I'm signing the currency notes. Because the more you sign, more it gets circulated. And more it gets circulated, that means the prosperity is increasing. So I said, more the merrier. If you have more, I'll sign more of these. And the prosperity will spread further. Prosperity in the form of spreading our psychology education, particularly to the school levels. So this gave me a very remarkable thrill when I did this. And when they finished, I felt a little sad. I said, any more? They said, well, that's about it. So that's how it is. We were discussing with Professor Akruddin Ahmed in the morning today over a cup of tea. And I was delighted when he said that we had these problems earlier and we got over it. This is what is the strength of our own people in and around. That we are able to sit, we are able to think, we are able to evolve the solutions within ourselves, using our own resources. This is what is required. And I said it in the beginning. If we have, you have one idea and I have one idea, and in a conference like this, if I share it with Europeans, probably, you know, our styles are different. Our eating habits are different. Our income levels are different. Our religious habits are different. But here we all have similar habits. So if we sit across and I give you one idea, you give me one idea, these ideas will multiply faster as compared to if I do it with somebody who is miles and miles away from this. That shall not fructify into success. This is going to fructify into success. I am very glad and delighted that we are all here together. Professor Panch has been a very modest person. He said, if there is any success, it is yours. If there is any failure, it is going to be mine. Well, this is the measure of modesty of an individual. Let me tell you, organizing an event of such a size where we had close to 2,000 in terms of numbers is not going to be an easy thing. It's a very difficult thing to look after their transportation, and we are not in a place which is where you land and you come here. We have to drive you further. So to organize everything, it's a very difficult thing, and I know he's been sleeping for about 3-4 hours for the last about 15 days at a stretch, because we speak at about 11:30, something comes to me, I ring him up at 1:30, Professor Panch, what about this? And in the morning, anything comes, we talk. So we are always alert. There is, so this will speak in volumes about the kind of effort that goes into it. And if anybody has organized any academic event, you will know that these things are not very easy, particularly when resources also have some crunch. Therefore, we have done a wonderful job that way. And if any slip has been there, I can assure you that it was not intentional. If anything has been amiss, it was not intentional. And we can assure you that whenever there is a next event of this kind here, it will be much better. But please consider yourself fortunate enough that you have been to Pondicherry. Pondicherry is one place which is very rejuvenating. Somebody asked me, why so many people come here? Last, you would not have got a chance to go to the main town. Main town there was hardly a place to walk. People were touching shoulder to shoulder when they were walking in the evening. So many people had come there. Not a single room was available anywhere. This happens, we are used to it. Every weekend it is like this. But I said it's a very, very rejuvenating place. Why people come here? There is something, some magnetism about Pondicherry. People call me from Delhi. We are coming to Pondicherry. Do we require visa? Sometimes. This is because of French legacy, this continues. I said it's a very, very rejuvenating place because it's a very spiritual place. Many greats are associated with this. Shri Aurobindo you have heard, Mother's name you have heard, Mahakavi Subramaniam Bharati's name you have heard. People would have heard about this name. People wouldn't have known about the greatness of this. A person dying at the age of 39 and having a mastery of 22 languages, out of which 11 foreign languages. Not only reading, speaking, writing, but also getting into the depths of this. This speaks about the character of this place. And he did this in all fear. He ran from Chennai. They said, Britishers will catch you if you stay here. He crossed the border. He says, this is French territory. Nobody will come here. So next 15 years he sat here and did all that revolutionary work that he did. So this is that land which is connected with that kind of a positivity. The tradition continues. Anybody who comes in here, you cross into the boundary of Pondicherry, some kind of a positivity will set in your body. I don't know whether you have felt it now or not, because probably you might not have traveled that much. If you have a day extra, go around and you will see this, the magnetism associated with this particular land. All your tiredness will go. So I call it's a very, very spiritual place, very positive place, very rejuvenating place. So you're all lucky that whatever may have been the shortcomings, but you have got one good chance of your lifetime that 3-4 days you could spend here with us, which was equally a great pleasure for all of us also. We also felt very blessed with your presence here, and I wish this association continues in the months and years to come. If not here, elsewhere, maybe Bangladesh, maybe Sri Lanka, maybe Bhutan, Nepal, wherever. But let's continue this and work for the betterment of our area here. When I say our area, I mean SAARC nations. It's a great force to reckon with, let me tell you. And somebody, let me name also, if you get a chance, you can go through this in the Google. There was a diplomat called Ambassador Madanjeet Singh. Way back when he was serving in UNO, he said a time is going to come when the entire world is going to look up to this area that I have talked about. Europe is not going to be important in the years to come, and you have seen that Europe hasn't had any major discovery or any major economic thought in the last 50 years. Middle East is not going to be important. He says oil will no longer be important, and we are all moving to electric vehicles. Trade routes are changing. Panama is not important. Suez Canal is not important. What is becoming most important is our Indian Ocean trade route. And that now, if you look at the data, it is the busiest trade route. Who controls it? It is under us. Andaman and Nicobar, nature has given us a permanent aircraft carrier. We neglected it earlier, now we have started paying attention to this. So he said this is going to be one area which will assume very great importance. And in fact, he said there will be an association. This is a prediction way back in mid-60s he predicted. He authored a long paper that there is going to be an area like this. We will have an association which has come up, SARC of course. It has teething problems, but it's coming up. Their performing arts, their handicrafts will dominate the world. This is the way we are now seeing. And he finally said there will be a common currency like euro is there. The name given to that currency was CASA, C-A-S-A. These are predictions somebody did. And eventually all those things are coming true, becoming a factual one. And that, if it emerges the way it was predicted, I think we'll be, in the years to come, we'll be what America and Russia are to the world now. Our area will be the one which the whole world will look up to. And people have already started saying this. Professor Akbaruddin said, our External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jayashankar said, in no uncertain terms, that we mean what we want. And that's the force with which we are presenting our ideas. And we can say that because now we have come up to that stage where we can afford to say, no, this is going to be what we will do. Earlier on, it was not the case. So we are doing very well. And with an association like this, where we can sit in a very informal way, discuss our issues, and bring out a paper, put it to the government, we are in for a big change. I congratulate all the organizers, all their team. You would have said, I was distributing so many medals. Somebody was saying it dilutes the distribution of medals. No, let me tell you, what matters is it matters for one who is being given. That is important. Wherever one has contributed, one has to be recognized, and we did that. I am remembering a story when some strong wave was coming and all the fish were being thrown out and they were dying, and somebody was having his morning walk. He started throwing back, and somebody commented, what difference will it make? You will not be able to do it to all. He says it will matter to the one which is being thrown back. It matters to that person, that fish. So that is what it is. When somebody is recognized on a stage this way for the good, sincere work that somebody has done, it matters to that individual. So that is what I did, and I felt very happy that everybody is being recognized. That is what is required. So I compliment all the organizers. I give my heartiest congratulations and my gratefulness to everybody who came here and spared their valuable time. In the kind of world we are living in, most important thing these days is the time. This is one entity which can never come back to you. You lose a day, it is gone forever. So we say we use it very judiciously. So you have all devoted your 3 days of life, 3 days of your time, for which I am deeply indebted and grateful to each one of you for coming over here. So thank you so very much. My heartiest compliments to the organizers as well as to the delegates for making a grand success of the conference. God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of Central University, Pondicherry, Professor Gurmeet Singh Ji, the dignitaries on the dais, scholars and students, and of course the worthy participants of this very important event. Good evening to all of you. In fact, protocol demands that after the worthy Vice Chancellor has delivered the valedictory address, and thereafter nobody has any right to speak on the occasion. And in fact, we should now wait for what we call to propose vote of thanks, which is to be done by Madam. But nevertheless, as one of our learned participant from Gujarat, she has analyzed by way of feedback about this program, this international conference, which started with a very good inaugural address by the Honorable Education Minister on 2nd of instant, and today we had a extensive presidential address by the Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university. Honorable Vice Chancellor, I too had the privilege to attend most of the sessions as one of the young participants, and I got a privilege to learn many things in this conference, and it is unique in many aspects. Number one, for the first time in the post-COVID, we got an opportunity from almost the entire globe, many countries and many cities of India to meet together and to put our heads on very important issues. And sir, the second important aspect which I visualize as a student is at present, as our learned speaker, the worthy advocate from London, and some of the speakers in their sessions also pointed out, the suicide rate is increasing throughout the globe, especially in India, and it was also rightly pointed out, and the number of the suicides are more on the campuses as well as in our forces. Well, I think this conference to a great extent has also addressed to these issues. Of late, sir, we have seen in many schools in the Europe, in many schools in the USA, a student comes out and shoots many of his fellow students. Many instances have come. And the third important aspect which I can say, which touched my heart, is usually school education is ignored by those who are working in the universities. This university has taken a lead wherein a best practice has been established to connect school education with that of university education as is mandated under NEP 2020. Sir, we got a thrilling experience when myself and Professor Akbaruddin, we interacted with the school teachers. In fact, they never believed that university professors will talk to them about the issues which they are confronting. It was a great achievement, I think, of this conference. And more or less, another important feature, in fact, if apparently you just face Professor Panchrama Lingam without knowing who is who, you will not be impressed. You will not give any assignment to him. But once you come to know about, as Professor Gurmeet Singh Sahab rightly said, the man who doesn't know what is sleep, the man who doesn't know what is the home, the man who is always committed and dedicated to his cause along with his team. The another feature of this is that psychologically he connects the senior people together along with their soulmates. And you will find here, even as on date in this valedictory function, many senior people are attending this conference along with their soulmates, and thereby tries to ease out what we otherwise call domestic violence, domestic issues, and it is a really great contribution. Anywhere he invites the people along with the spouse. Well, sir, as I said, I attended all the sessions. It has been a source of inspiration for me as well, what to talk of our colleagues, as Hamari Bachi from Gujarat, she rightly identified. And everyone, sir, was on toes. There is no question of, as you said, any slip or any lapse. It has been perfect from every aspect. And if you ask me to award the marks or the grade, I will say I can't give mathematically, it will be wrong, more than 100. 100 out of 100, and our appreciation to all the team members, to all the students, and who were part and parcel. She is waiting for me, and I mean you. Who were part and parcel, they did a commendable contribution. And sir, hopefully now there will be no pandemic, and we shall continue to remember it for years to come. Thank you all, and we wish all the best to the mission of the InSPA. Thank you.
Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. Now is the time for vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Veena. Honorable dignitaries on the dais and dear delegates, I know Professor Punch has given me a very challenging task, and that is vote of thanks. So honestly, I began by saying, if I had forgot to mention anyone, that's not intentional. But our Honorable Vice Chancellor already spoke about that. So I proceed with the vote of thanks. Friends, we have 4 collaborators today: Pondicherry University, Pondicherry Technological University, Samagra Shiksha Government of Puducherry, Tamil Nadu Teachers University, Chennai. All these 4 as a team have worked meticulously for this 12th InSPA International Conference. So we are bound to thank all the 4 for coming together as a team. As rightly said, our Vice Chancellor doesn't waste time. Even while having a cup of tea, he's already signed his MOU with 2-3 Vice Chancellors on the dais here. So we take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurmeet Singh Sir, Professor Panch Ramalingam, Professor Rangaya Sir, Department of Applied Psychology, and all the staff of the department and students and scholars, Dr. Rudra Gode from the Department of School Education, Government of Puducherry, Professor Mohan from Pondicherry Technological University, Dr. Rajendran from Tamil Nadu Teachers University. We also had the privilege of having Shri Dharmendra Pradhan Sir, the Ministry of Education, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, our Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. We had Shri S. Anbe Selvam, Emblem Selvam Speaker, and also Shri PML Kalyana Sundaram Sir, from Member of Legislative Assembly. We had Professor Mukhopadhyay Sir, former President InSPA. We also had the blessings of the AIMS Director, Professor Randeep Guleria, Professor Kiran Devendra, former NCRT Professor, and also Rear Admiral Professor Pandey in the inaugural session. I would also take this opportunity to thank Dr. Armugam Parasuraman, a former Director, UNESCO Mauritius, Professor Akbaruddin Ahmed, Vice Chancellor retired, Darul Nisan University, Bangladesh. We had Professor Mehruddin Mir, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Kashmir, Shri A. Ilanjalian, Senior Advocate, President, IMTC, London, Dr. T. Ramanayagam from Malaysia, and Dr. Jayanti Ravi from Auroville, Professor Vijay Kumar, Dr. Santhanam as well. We also take this opportunity to thank the Registrar, Professor Amaresh Samantraya, Pondicherry University, our Director, Professor K.T. Tarnikarsu, the Finance Officer, the Public Relations Officer, the Media Department, Dr. Radhika Khanna, and the team, all the staff at EMMRC Pondicherry University. Our staff at the University Guest House, who had the beck and call of all our guests, international delegates and national delegates, our computer center, and all the professors and the team members whom Sir did not forget to acknowledge and also appreciate their efforts for bringing all of us together in this podium. We had team members from several countries, to mention a few: UK, Germany, Australia, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Japan, Mauritius, Nepal, Bangladesh, and many more parts of the country. And we also had the student volunteers from the Department of Applied Psychology and many other departments. And we had several members as committee, chairpersons, presenters from across all of them. I also take this opportunity to thank our own fellow colleagues, Professor Ghulam Dastagir, Professor Marx, Dr. Rejoicen Thangal, Dr. Radhika Khanna. We also had people who visited and blessed us, Professor Chella Perumal, Professor Venkata Rao Sir, and many other faculty members who made their presence throughout the conference. Our deep sense of gratitude to Dr. Kamini, Dr. Veena, who shared with me for the Master of Ceremony, Dr. Reena, Dr. Janet, and also for Dr. Gopalakrishnan, who gave us, the InSPA anthem, and to Makkal TV for having the coverage international level as well. Special thanks to our staff at HRDC who were on their toes. I think we all seek an apology because we were troubling you like anything to attend to the guests under the leadership of Professor Panch Ramalingam. So we thank all of them from the bottom of our heart to help us to enable to serve all the people here in the forum. A special thanks, I think we should never forget all our family members. I think their sacrifices brought all of us together, our own family members, starting from our Honorable Vice Chancellor to all of them, all the staff who worked, because almost 3 to 4 days We've been here from morning till evening. So thanks to all of them and to all other delegates, students, participants, staff members who've come from several parts to take part and present their concepts here, their ideas here, and their vision also. I'm also confident we are taking very good lessons, as I was very happy, we were having all senior people who in the first, second rows who did not miss even one session, and I was very happy when Professor Mehruddin Mir was making a mention in my presentation where I highlighted the number of suicides, why it's happening, because when we work with the youth in the hospitals, the only thing before, when they commit the suicide, they say we did not have one single person to listen to our grievance. And I think Professor Panch Ramlingam sir is playing an excellent role, and it is happening only because of the support of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, who's understood the pain and the suffering and the trauma of that person who's committing suicide just because he or she does not have a person to listen to his problem. And I think, sir, the seeds which you're sowing will surely reap benefits. We are all there together as a team to support you and take this message to every nook and country of the world. I'm confident that we are taking good memories from our university, and I'm sure our Honorable Vice Chancellor and InSPA will be very happy to welcome you once again every year probably, or every part once in a year. Thank you very much. We from InSPA, thank you very much for coming and staying with us. And if at all we had failed anywhere at any juncture, please apologize for us. And I sincerely thank. Namaskar, Nandri, Vanakkam.